I collapsed at graduation and woke up from brain surgery to my family's Paris vacation photos. Caption: no stress, no drama. Then 65 missed calls appeared. Dad's text said, "We need you immediately." I knew exactly why. The first thing I felt was the rhythmic, agonizing throb in my skull. The second was the sterile, freezing air of the ICU. I reached for my phone on the bedside table. My fingers felt like heavy lead, trembling as I grasped the cold metal. The screen lit up, burning my eyes, but I opened Instagram out of pure muscle memory. Right at the top of my feed was a picture of my parents and my golden child older brother. They were standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, holding crystal glasses of champagne, grinning ear to ear. The caption read, "Living our best lives. No stress, no drama." It had been posted 12 hours ago. I stared at the ceiling as the memories violently crashed back into me. I had been standing on my university's graduation stage, waiting for my name to be called. I had worked full-time while taking a maximum course load just to graduate with honors. I had looked out into the massive crowd, desperately searching for my family. They had promised they would be there. They had promised Paris could wait, but their seats were empty. The realization had hit me like a physical blow, followed immediately by a blinding, white-hot pain at the base of my neck. The doctors later told me it was a ruptured cerebral aneurysm, exacerbated by extreme stress. I had collapsed on stage in front of thousands of people. I was rushed into emergency brain surgery and had been unconscious in this hospital bed for 3 days. The hospital had called my parents. I knew they had because my dad was my primary emergency contact. They knew I was having my skull sawed open to save my life, and they decided to board their first-class flight to Paris anyway. I guess a near-death experience was just too much drama to interrupt their luxury vacation. A cold, hollow numbness washed over me. I closed Instagram and opened my messages. 65 missed calls. Most were from my dad, starting about 4 hours ago. The panic in his text escalated with every passing hour. "Hey, hope the surgery went well. We landed in Paris. Call me. Card declined at the hotel. Fix this. Why aren't you answering? The bank says they need verbal authorization from the primary account holder. Answer the damn phone. They're threatening to call the authorities. We need you immediately." I didn't panic. I just smiled. It pulled painfully at the staples in my scalp, but I couldn't help it. I knew exactly why they were panicking. My family runs a highly lucrative e-commerce logistics firm. At least that's what they tell their wealthy friends. The truth is, it's my firm. I built the proprietary algorithm they use. I wrote every single line of code in the dark while they slept. Because I was a naive teenager when I started it. I let my dad act as the CEO, so we looked professional. But when I turned 18, I quietly transferred the primary server hosting, the IP rights, and the master banking controls into an LLC exclusively under my name. I was the sole legal signatory. They had been using the corporate cards to fund their lavish lifestyle for years. I let it slide because I just wanted my family to love me. I thought paying for their Paris trip would finally make them proud enough to show up to watch me get my degree. Instead, they left me to die. What my dad didn't know was that a week before graduation, I had implemented a strict security protocol on the corporate accounts. Any international transaction over $5,000 required a two-factor authentication. Code sent directly to my personal phone, followed by a biometric face scan. While they were sipping champagne at the Eiffel Tower, they were racking up a massive bill at a 5-star hotel. A bill they literally could not pay. My phone buzzed in my hand. Another text from my dad. "The hotel manager has involved the French police. They think we're committing fraud. Do not do this to us. Send the authorization code now." I slowly sat up in the hospital bed, the monitors beeping in the background. I turned on my front-facing camera. I looked absolutely terrible. Half my head was shaved raw, a massive bloody bandage wrapped around my skull. IV tubes were snaking out of my bruised arms. I took a selfie. I attached the photo to our family group chat. Underneath it, I typed a single message. "Sorry, I can't. Doctor's orders. No stress, no drama." I hit send. Then I logged into my banking app. With one tap, I permanently revoked all of their corporate credit cards. I opened my server dashboard and revoked their network access, effectively locking them out of the company forever. My phone immediately started ringing. It was my dad again. I watched his name flash on the screen for a few seconds, watching the desperate blinking light. Then I pressed lock. I laid my head back down on the pillow, closed my eyes, and listened to the steady rhythm of my heart monitor. For the first time in my life, I could finally rest.